Right, there's still nothing significant in the mainstream media regarding the British Army Lieutenant Colonel who was stabbed outside his own barracks. Now, all we know is that some guy rode up to an army barracks in Kent on his little moped, waited for a soldier to walk out and stabbed him. That guy is now ill. The soldier is now in hospital. The knifeman appeared in court and refused to answer questions to identify him. And that's it. That's all we know. Personally, I think that's a very important and significant story that a British Army soldier, a lieutenant colonel no less, gets, well, I wouldn't say randomly, but gets attacked with multiple knife wounds. And it is, of course, reminiscent of what happened to Lee Rigby all those years ago. Same scenario. He was run over by a car and then the guy tried to decapitate him right in front of his barracks. Now, if British Army soldiers can't feel safe in their own countries, then we certainly have problems. Now, can you imagine this happening in the 70s, 80s or 90s? It would be headline news. It would be shocking. And I'm telling you now, terrorists back then, now I'm not saying this was terrorist related, but you never know, do you? But back then, they didn't play the mental health card. Do you remember any IRA terrorists pulling the mental health card? Back then when they got caught and sentenced to lengthy stays in prison? I don't. So why are these guys so special? Why do they get that backup so the law takes it easy on them? I don't know. Anyway, that story is being heavily subdued in the mainstream media because it's being dominated by what happened at Manchester Airport. And yeah, the copper who delivered that penalty kick, he's been suspended and apparently he's in fear of his life and for the lives of his family, and understandably so. Now, of course, this situation is being, I think I can be forgiven for saying this, but milked by the guy's suspicious-looking lawyer by the mainstream media, along with politicians and left-wing celebrities. Even Lawrence Fox, for some reason, has jumped on the bandwagon condemning what the police officer did. But then again, I wouldn't trust Lawrence Fox as far as I could throw him, and he's a liability. But that's a video for another time, I think. And so, according to the lad's lawyer who got the kick in the head, he's now developed a cyst on the brain. And that's according to his lawyer, by the way, not his doctor. So yeah, expect a hefty payout to that guy, courtesy of the British taxpayer. It seems that antagonising armed police certainly pays off financially. But there were shocking scenes outside this Coppers police station in Rochdale again last night because they were protesting, doing their thing, and then they started attacking the police station. They were there in their balaclavas, throwing stuff at the doors, shattering the glass, and even at one point putting up barricades on the front door. I mean, if there was an emergency and the police needed to come out to attend, then they'd be buggered. They'd have to deal with these buggers instead, wouldn't they? So why the hell haven't the police come out in force to remove them? After all, they are an emergency service. People do have emergencies, and these idiots are preventing this service from attending that emergency. So why do they keep getting away with it? I'm telling you, they're not going to stop until they have this guy's head on a plate. There's a member of George Galloway's Workers' Party of Britain who failed to become an MP at the general election. He's already been on video stating that he wants all the officers involved arrested, charged, found guilty by a court and jailed. So he's already threatening the legal justice system in this country to do as he demands or there'll be trouble. That's not how we operate here. But they'll get their way, no doubt. And it's because of instances like this where a police force can be subdued, barricaded and attacked in their own police station with no consequences to the perpetrators. And minority groups demand that people are pronounced guilty in a court of law unless there'll be violence. Again, with no repercussions whatsoever, is the reason I'll be in London on the 27th this Saturday. I am fed up with stuff like this happening in my country by people who have absolutely no intention of being part of what we are here and expect us to bend over backwards for them while they take everything they can. I'm fed up with it. If the British police can be out in force and double down on British football fans or veterans attending the cenotaph like we did last year, and they turned up in their riot gears, I mean, they were there in numbers, then why the hell couldn't they deal with these people doing this, who are actually breaking the law? I mean, barricading a police station, and they did nothing about it. and all over a lad who antagonised the police, which resulted in him getting kicked in the face. And it's dominating the news when it should be the Lieutenant Colonel British Army officer who was nearly stabbed to death outside his own barracks in his home country. His country's screwed, folks, it really is. So anyway, if you see me on Saturday, come and say hello. I will be streaming live, and I sincerely hope it all goes well without a hitch. All we want is a fair policing system. That's all we want. And I want a truthful mainstream media service organisation in this country that just tells the truth and doesn't distract us from issues and events with non-existent social justice issues that only serve the woke-minded. I think that's a bit reasonable, isn't it, don't you? And there we go. I'm Paz49, thanks for watching, thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't yet, why not? And I'll see you Saturday. And until then, Roger Trout.